Born June 1st, 1926, in the charity ward of the Los Angeles County Hospital, Norma Jeane was taken 12 days later to a home in outlying Hawthorne. There she was placed in the hands of Albert Bolender, who, with her husband Albert, would act as foster parent for 8 years. At 10 months, violence shook the baby's world, and her grandmother, Marilyn Monroe, went berserk.
She did come over one day, and for no reason that I know of, she just broke in the glass on our front door. And I believe we called the police, didn't we? Something happened.
Still in the old neighborhood, the Bolenders looked back on the hard years when boarding children helped earn a living.
We took her to Sunday school with us. Lots of times I not only had her and my own son, but I had other children too with me. So I couldn't always go because I couldn't have a haul of, 4 or 5 children at church with me, but they went to Sunday school if they were able.
Seldom alone, Norma Jeane lived in a floating world of transitory relationships. 13 foster brothers and sisters came and went. Grown-ups appeared, disappeared. It was hard to know what was real, what to trust, even parents. Later, Marilyn said,
one morning I referred to the woman as Mama, and she said, I'm not your mother. Don't call me mother anymore. Call me Aunt so-and-so. But the one I was concerned was her husband. I said, but he's my daddy. She said, no.
Joy had been a random thing for Marilyn's mother, a young film laboratory worker. Gladys Baker's first 2 children had been taken by a former husband. Although she scrupulously paid $25 per month for her baby's care and took the child on outings, she remained a disturbing figure at the edge of Norma Jeane's world. Norma Jeane went to live with her mother, who had managed to make a down payment on a house near the Hollywood Bowl. Its most prized furnishing, a white baby grand piano. There was a rare, smiling photograph. One child, one mother.
We only had the home for about, I don't even think it was 3 months, because she was taken away, my mother.
Paradise was lost. Gladys Baker vanished behind the dark barrier of mental illness. Today, a gray, handsome little woman, she often strolls with Inez Melson, her guardian, at the sanitarium, where she lives under the provisions of Marilyn's will. But Marilyn herself is only a shadowed memory. Norma Jeane's new home was a private orphanage in Hollywood. Now she was one child among 60.
I could read at 10. I saw an orphan, and I put my feet down on the sidewalk, and they had to drag me in. I said, I'm not an orphan. I used to sit up in the window and cry because I'd look over and I'd see RKO, and I knew my mother had worked there. She'd been a cutter there.
Norma Jeane's world was drab and perplexing. But already, across her daydreams, glistened the fabled towers of Hollywood make-believe. Outwardly, she was learning to be what others wanted her to be. Her real life was spent in that inner world, where, as she said, you can make your own boundaries.
I didn't have enough to get into the movie, but I used to spend the whole afternoon, many Saturday afternoons, trying to fit my foot in a print that was usually too big. And also I would get down and measure my hand, and always they seemed a little large. I don't know, they had very small feet and small hands. I became very discouraged at an early age.
A friend of her mother, Grace McKee, became her guardian. When Grace married Irvin, Doc Goddard, she brought Norma Jeane to their rambling ranch house in Van Nuys. But of the several homes in which she would live the next few years, her warmest memory would be of the months spent at Grace McKee's Aunt Anna Lauer. Aunt Anna had kept for her the single symbol of life with her mother, the white piano. Known at 12 as Norma Jeane Stringbean. She attended Emerson Junior High near Aunt Anna's in Westwood, where she's remembered by her science teacher, Mabel Ella Campbell.
She was a youngster who looked as though she wasn't well cared for. Her clothes separated her a little bit from the rest of the girls. She was like a little girl, not well developed as some of the youngsters were. She just seemed like a nice child, but not very outgoing and not very vibrant.
Here today, there tomorrow. Always the outsider, Norma Jeane still managed average grades. Then suddenly, she was Norma Jeane Stringbean no longer. Girls cast envious glances. Boys whistled. In high school, Norma Jeane was restless. She liked to run very hard. She never graduated.